you, beloved children of, ask the presence to take command of all minds and bodies on earth, and their activity. Charge into their earthly activity every perfection which the presence holds, and then see the power of the light hold its dominion forever. I thank you. I greet you, beloved children of the light, in the name of your mighty I Am Presence. Tonight I shall try to help you feel and understand your ability, your great power to become what we are today. In the outer world of understanding and that which has previously come forth concerning those who are acting under the 7 rays of the Godhead, each ray performing a certain service, I wish you to understand that every ascended master, being wholly perfect, is equal to any emergency and gives service wherever it is required. It does not matter what the particular activity is, the demand is the important thing. I perceive that few yet understand what it means when they make the call to their mighty I Am Presence. If for any reason you are not yet able to generate the full power and feeling, to bring the sufficient release of your own energy from your own mighty I Am Presence, oftentimes through the higher mental body the call comes to us, shall I say, to our octave, for assistance. The one who receives your 357 call immediately projects a current of energy or ray of light and gives the assistance required. The mighty I Am Presence is the authority of the whole universe. We all obey that great presence of life. As unascended beings, who are not yet sufficiently aware that you have all authority and power in the acknowledgement of your mighty I Am Presence, you need assistance, strength, encouragement, joy, and happiness. All of those qualities go to make up the needed harmony within your feeling world, which stops the requalifying and reclothing of your life with the qualities that are acting in your feeling world. That is the only possible thing which causes limitations in the activity of mankind. If you left it alone, now notice carefully, if you left this stream of energy alone as it flows in, beats your heart, and then flows out into your world, it would naturally produce full and complete perfection, but you do not do that. You generate feelings for one reason or another of more or less discord, and this energy flowing through is compelled to be clothed. It is just as if you wrapped around that current of energy the discord which is in your feeling. It has to go out into your world, and of course produces conditions like the quality in which you clothe it. Do you not see why the messengers have pled and pled with you for the need of harmony in your feelings? Beloved ones, I say to you with all firmness and kindness, you cannot go much further until you take the determined stand to completely govern your feelings, for out of that comes freedom for everything that is. This energy which is waiting to release its greater power is always there. You cannot have a physical body and not have your mighty I Am Presence above you, or its energy limitless and ready to flow forth, but you allow your attention to be so held upon the outer appearance world, that you forget your presence and its energy. I know even among the students, with some very earnest ones, something suddenly flares before you and, my gracious, it is so apparent that you, for the moment, forget your presence. Oh, it often occurs yet, the moment something starts to appear before you, stop everything and say, mighty I Am Presence, take command. Stop that. Then you have the action of alertness. One must be alert, beloved ones, in your application of this law, because if you stop an appearance before it begins to gain a momentum in your life, it is easy, it is not a struggle. The light never struggles. Mankind do in their application, because they think they must struggle. Of course, that is not necessary. I want to try to make this also practical to you. All of this is yourself. We are yourself, perhaps a little more advanced, but we are your life right. Now this moment. Think of it. Right this moment your heart is beating, is it not? What is beating it? Life. The greatest power and intelligence in the universe is beating your heart right now and breathing your lungs. Notice, that same power of life is infinite in its power and activity. It is you who are limiting it by your attention upon the world of appearances, which are limitations. Do you not see that everything in the outer world of mankind is a human creation or limitation? Take the most perfect things for use that you have in the outer world today. Let us step up, as it were, to the more advanced activity of things. Take your aerial navigation. Your planes are wonderful today, are they not? They are real, but they are only a small portion of the perfection which will come forth in your aerial navigation. We know that. Now, you might say to me, well, show me. We will, but possibly not just yet. However, all the perfection mechanically that you have today is only the beginning of what may come forth, providing you will give obedience as Saint Germain has asked, for that is your freedom, the only means by which it can come. If you cannot and will not give obedience to the simple things he asks, how can you expect to have the great perfection which he has pictured to you? You will find that he makes no mistakes, in spite of the fact that there are a few who think he does. Oh, beloved ones, what do the ascended beings or cosmic beings care about puny human opinions? It is the people who have those opinions who should care a great deal. They should care, dear ones, because it is those vicious individuals who spread falsehoods and discourage mankind, ofttimes when they are on the eve of great success. Vicious individuals go among the students and mankind, and some of the students are not strong enough to stand against their viciousness. Dear people, as long as you admit silly, vicious gossip into your world, you will pay the penalty. The messengers have prompted the students everywhere. All who do that are vicious claws of the sinister force, holding you away from your victory. If you want to listen to that kind of thing, then you will remain right where you are, in your chains. There has been a lot of viciousness spread through your city here. Oh, we know all about it. Those unfortunate individuals, God help them. They sound their own death knell when they do it. Because they have been going on for some time, they become more brazen and vicious. Well, we do not mind, but they will. I prompt you, dear people of Long Beach and elsewhere, until you will take your stand and throw out of your home or your world every individual who tries to spread viciousness there. You will remain in your limitations. This work and the work of these beloved messengers is the most beautiful thing ever given to mankind, and the messengers pour forth love as few human beings can do. If those vicious individuals would turn that same energy to a constructive purpose, they would have made their ascension already, because they release dynamic feeling in anger and viciousness. In every instance of that kind where individuals have become so vicious, it was because they could not drive in and become one of the staff of the messengers. That is the only reason their viciousness started to build. So watch out, dear people, it is your problem. It cannot touch the messengers or the work, but it can disturb you, if you let it. The messengers have given you only love and truth and light and freedom. Every human being, it does not make any difference who they are, who sends out viciousness and falsehood, will find it returning to them. It cannot go elsewhere. That is the thing which, so far, many of mankind are refusing to see. They think they can go on putting out any kind of feeling and not reap the results. Do not fool yourselves, dear people. The first fundamental law of life, mankind ignores completely. You cannot get away from reaping exactly what you send out. No human being can avoid it. It is the law of life. There are some who think they can, but they are kidding themselves. One day when we come and stand before you in the visible, tangible body, and you have come to a point where we can release certain forces, we will present to you the record of those great truths and why they are so. Then you will know how great has been the truth the messengers have presented to you. Remember now, dear people, because there has been so much viciousness spread in your city, I want you to realize the importance of this. If you do not protect yourselves, you will accept into your feeling world this destructive thing, and there is no one to blame but yourselves if you do. We want you to be free, but if you listen to that kind of a condition, you will have it in your world. There are 2 points here I want to try and anchor firmly in your feeling world tonight, and they are: you listen to conversation intellectually and you say, well, that may be true or not, I am not interested. That is often the feeling of the individual, but what do you think your feeling world around you is doing at the same time? That is what you are not aware of. If you are not in harmony with a thing completely, and if a certain verbal suggestion comes to you, sometimes silently, but more often verbally, it causes a feeling to start within you of doubt or question. You are not sure, but you say to the intellect, oh no, I will not accept that, but your feeling is accepting it. Hours or days after your intellect has said, "Oh no, I won't accept that," something comes up in your life's experience and you say, "I wonder if that could have been true." There is where your feeling has accepted it and started a momentum of destructive thought and feeling. If it begins to revolve, it reaches the thought and the thought takes it up. Then you have a conflagration on in your feeling. I tell you, these individuals who have spread such vicious falsehoods concerning the messengers and the work are filling their lives with tragedy. Dear people, make no mistake about it. Oh, the messengers or we are not concerned, but we are concerned about you, who sometimes unknowingly accept those things in your feeling world. It is you whom we are talking about. We do not care anything about the vicious individuals. They will destroy themselves soon enough, but it is to protect you precious people, who unknowingly accept these things in your feeling which start disturbance. Then the first thing you know, something happens in your world, a loss of finances, loss of health or something like that, and you wonder what in the world could have caused it. It is because you have accepted this vicious gossip into your feeling either knowingly or unknowingly. Dear ones, do you not see? I am not condemning these vicious individuals. I am not even concerned about them, but it is the honest, sincere student with which I am concerned. I want them to be strong and firm enough to repel all that kind of thing and keep it out of their feeling world forever. It is true, if you understand the law sufficiently, you can hear a thing without accepting it, you can look upon a thing without accepting it. But the average individual does not. With the average individual, the moment you hear something tragic or destructive outside, you accept it into your feeling like that because you are not on sufficient guard. The messenger today can look upon anything out there and stop it instantly from entering into his world. He is not an ascended being, therefore, if he can do it, so can you. That is why tonight I am prompting you on these things which will mean your absolute victory and freedom, if you care to listen to me. That is why we want you to understand that the messengers or we are not the slightest concerned what vicious individuals pour out, but you blessed ones, unless you know how to guard yourselves, will accept it into your feeling world. And you will find some condition coming out of it that is disastrous to you. Dear people, let us look these things square in the face. How do human limitations in the world come about? By accepting into the feeling world a power of human creation greater than the presence of light. Every human being without exception knows that he has within him the presence of life, does he not? But how very few people previously have given any particular thought to it. They come into embodiment, accept a few ideas, go on in the ordinary manner, and after a while lose the body. Then they get rested, come back, and try it again. Isn't that a ridiculous thing? Isn't it? Now that you have the opportunity of setting yourselves free from these conditions forever, is it not worth any effort which you can make? Notice, dear people, whether you believe it is really me or the messenger himself who is talking to you, will determine how much you are going to free yourself. The messenger is repeating my words and I am standing right here by the messenger, flashing these words before him. You probably do not see me, but I could make myself very tangible without being visible. I want to say to you beloved students, if you are going to be free you must dissolve the feeling within you that an ascended being is not tangible just because he or she is not visible to the physical sight. We are just as tangible as you are, and if I chose I could stand forth in a minute here, in just as tangible a form as the messenger is. Of course, there are those who will say, well, why don't you do it? I am sorry that you do not trust our wisdom, when it is the right time to do it. Our life, our law is obedience to this very law of life which is beating your hearts. We know it. We are willing to give complete obedience. Are you? That is the point. When you are as willing to give as exact obedience as we are, then you will be where we are. Do you not see that, precious ones? You know, recently the messenger had a letter from London, saying that the language in the magazine was very unbecoming. It said, "Dear hearts and precious ones," 4 or 5 times on each page. They thought that was out of place. We should worry about that individual's opinion. But I am speaking of these things to prompt you, precious hearts, not to be caught in the snare of human, intellectual conceit. That individual was so conceited he just deprived himself of the great blessing which was there. You will notice the messengers do not care a thing about human opinions. Some of the great intellects tore them to shreds when the books first went out, picking flaws here and there. Well, the only flaws were those who did the criticizing. They should pick out their own flaws and get rid of them. Precious hearts, mankind must come to our point of obedience if they are going to be free. I sometimes stand amazed, for in the beginning mankind was given the prompting when Victory, as you have come to know him now, the tall master from Venus, issued the edict for the earth from the great royal Teton, that this work should go forth in simple language which the layman could understand, or even a small child. He said it should be simple and understandable, but powerful and majestic in its activity and results. If individuals want to allow the conceit of the intellect to turn them aside from the blessings of this work which Saint Germain has brought forth, then it is quite all right, but thanks to the infinite light, those individuals are but few. It is marvelous. Beloved ones, think of this work today in America. 5 years ago scarcely anybody knew that such a thing as an ascended master existed. The Western world scarcely knew or ever heard of such a thing. Yet today, out of the nearly 400,000 students, 325,000 are accepting this mighty truth. They are feeling it deeply within their beings. It is their freedom. Why do you have advanced instructors in your schools? You have the kindergarten, grade school, high school, and so on, up to your college and university. The instructors in the universities and colleges are supposed to be much more advanced than the kindergarten. Well, the same law applies throughout the universe. We, having passed through the experiences which you are in today, know how to convey to you the application and give you the assistance which will bring you to us in eternal freedom. But if you will not let us help you, how can we? This is what I want you to feel tonight. In your application, beloved ones, if at any point you need assistance, then that assistance must come to you from us, because it is the law of your life. Do you think the law of your life, which is beating your heart, seeing your earnest, determined desire to be free, will not call to its assistance anything required to give you the help which would be your victory? It is life, your life, precious ones, which is calling for its freedom. It is not a matter of your human opinion at all. Of course your human opinion can interfere with it temporarily, but it is your life which is calling for its freedom. That is why your heart knows the truth which your intellect will not always accept. That has been the magnificent thing in this work which Saint Germain has brought forth in this magnificent instruction. It is simple, but all-powerful to set you free. It does mean, oh, you can't get away from it, dear hearts, that you must make your earnest, determined application and keep it up, until your momentum becomes strong enough to sweep everything out of your world, consuming all disturbance or limitations. Look upon your world today. Of all that is here, is there anyone, now notice this closely, is there one thing of your outer world today which has not some kind of limitation? Can you show me one thing in your outer world of the human octave which does not in some manner have limitations? I think not. Then, that limitation of the appearance world is still human creation, even with as much of the beauty and perfection as you have. Why do I say human creation? Because there is still limitation in it. For instance, take the most beautiful roses you have in the world today. They look as though they were almost as perfect as they could be, but I say to you, they are hardly a comparison with the perfection which can be and will be yet manifested in your midst. I say this to you just as one illustration, I cannot take time to give you more. If you were to take a rosebush in your lawn or garden and you would go to that rosebush every morning and say, Mighty I Am Presence, charge your perfection into that rosebush and bring forth the most perfect roses. You would see come forth such perfection as the human does not believe possible. You can do that. You can take an orange tree, stand and charge it with the perfection of the presence, and leave the rest alone and see the difference. This means, dear people, any of you can prove this law true to your entire satisfaction, if you will, but if you do not apply it, how can you be satisfied? We see the great, earnest, sincere, intense application many are making, the majority, but never tire. Never become impatient. Never cease application until you have swept out of your world every disturbing, limiting thing. It must come because it is the law of your life. It is compelled to answer. Beloved ones, let me remind you again tonight that when you call forth this great power of your presence, its mighty, intelligent energy goes into action, and it is self-luminous, intelligent substance. It knows no opposition nor interference. That light does not fear the darkness. The light knows no opposition from any kind of human creation. Therefore, when you call the power of your presence, which is self-luminous, intelligent substance, to sweep in and through your body and sweep out all imperfection, its light just floods into, through, and around you and sweeps out all disturbance. Providing you are not still determined that there is some left. Many times we have seen the beloved students make earnest, sincere call and every bit of disturbance be swept out. 10 minutes later in their feelings they would begin to wonder and let the whole condition return. Train yourself, when you make your application, to be firm as the rock of Gibraltar that the thing desired is accomplished. Then stand by it, no matter how the appearances scream at you afterwards, and you will have your victory very quickly. The messengers today, blessed people, when they make application, stand by it no matter what the thing says outside. They always win, because their stand and determination allows the light and power to continue to flow until the appearance disappears. This is what it means to stand firm and unyielding in your application. I thank you, beloved ones. This is the first privilege I have had of talking to you. Yet I, with many others, always stand ready to give every assistance possible for your freedom, perfection, and dominion. Oh, do not yield any longer, beloved ones, to the appearance world. It has no power. Once you will turn upon it and tell it so and mean it, it will cease to have power in your world. Then, as you call the magnificent power of your presence forth to take command and hold its dominion in your world, so shall it be done. The time is not so far distant when blessed ones like this will hear the words, "Arise and walk." And they will obey, because the light which beats this heart is authority, the dominion, the action, the power which can make that body walk in its freedom and perfection. Oh, beloved ones, your life, the magnificence of it, the all-powerful action of it is ever at your command. Remember, you are no longer subject to the limitation of all human creation, nor your own. You can call on the law of forgiveness for all mistakes of your own creation, turn to your presence and face about, and wipe all human creation out of your world so quickly. It is marvelous, beloved ones, when you have come to know of your great presence. One day, in one sweeping decree you can set yourself free from any discordant condition that has ever existed. There is not a thing great or small to your presence. The light just dissolves all unlike itself and takes its dominion forever. Tonight, I call the fullness of the infinite power of your mighty I Am presence to take its dominion in your mind, body, and world, produce its perfection, and set you free in the victory of the light. I thank you.